Hey, I'm Baz, and welcome back to 20 Minute Gamer, the channel where I test whether a game can hook you in just 20 minutes. As a busy dad and filmmaker, I don't have hours to burn hoping a game gets good, so I judge games by the opening moments to help others like me figure out if they're worth the time. Today, I'm playing Tomb Raider II Remastered, released in 2024 for modern platforms, and originally created by Core Design back in 1997 on the PlayStation 1. I'm playing it on the PC via Steam, although my original experience was on the PlayStation. This game holds a really special place in my heart. It was one of the 3 games I got on Christmas Day with my original new PlayStation, alongside Spyro the Dragon and Tekken 3. It's pure nostalgia for me, so naturally I was excited to jump into the remaster to see if it still holds up. Story. As usual on this channel, I skip cutscenes so I can get as much gameplay in as possible. I believe games should be able to convey their story through play, atmosphere and exploration, not just lengthy cinematics. That said, the opening level in Tomb Raider 2 doesn't really give you much in the way of environmental storytelling. You know you're somewhere along the Great Wall of China, clearly exploring a forgotten tomb, but why you're there or what you're looking for remains unclear unless you remember the original game or take time to watch the cutscenes. The tone is consistent though. There's mystery, danger and an isolated sense of adventure. If you're the kind of player who values immersive storytelling without dialogue, this might fall a bit flat, but if you're here for action and exploration, there's enough intrigue to pull you in. Score: 5 out of 10. Controls. So here's where things started to unravel for me. I'm playing using an Xbox controller on Steam, but historically I always played Tomb Raider with the PlayStation tank controls. The remaster gives you the option of a new control scheme and I figured I'd try it. Big mistake. Jumping felt unreliable, climbing was awkward, interacting with pretty much anything was a struggle. The combat controls are frustrating too. To lock on, you tap a button, but Lara stays fixed on one enemy until you tap again. That might sound minor, but when you're fighting 3 vultures and a tiger, it's an absolute nightmare. The final nail in the coffin for me was that I forgot to manually save, so when I died, it threw me all the way back to the start. No reminders, no autosave, just a blank slate. That might be faithful to the original, but it really doesn't feel very player-friendly in 2025. Score: 2 out of 10. Atmosphere. Now this is where Tomb Raider still delivers. The silence, the sound of wind through narrow corridors, distant animal calls and the dark, claustrophobic caves all create an amazing sense of isolation. It genuinely feels like you're deep in forgotten ruins, far from help. One of my favourite touches was seeing the helicopter fly away right after drop-off. It reinforces you that you're on your own now, no backup coming. As you venture deeper into the tomb, you encounter skeletons, crumbling walls and eerie silence. It manages to be serene and creepy at the same time, which is a signature of the early Tomb Raider games. Score: 8 out of 10. Music and sound. This is easily one of the highlights. The game leans heavily on atmospheric audio rather than constant music, which creates tension. The ambient sounds of wind, water, and Lara's movements are nostalgic, all in the right ways. I always remember Lara groaning when she climbs up things, and this sound effect is still here. It used to make me turn down the volume when my parents were around. Even the simple act of wading through water or hearing a distant growl is immersive. There was one moment when a musical sting kicked in during a tense encounter, and it hit perfectly. Subtle but dramatic. It reminded me of why I love this series so much. The audio might not have changed much in the remaster, but it didn't need to, because it's excellent. Score: 10 out of 10. Graphics and style. Now this is the big draw for the remaster, and I think they've absolutely nailed it. Visually, it looks exactly how I remember it looking, which is kind of magical. That nostalgia-filtered memory gets shattered when you toggle to the original graphics and realise just how far we've come. Lara looks fantastic. Environments are sharper and more detailed, and everything retains the blocky charm of the original without feeling dated. It's been upgraded just enough to be beautiful without losing the soul of the original. It could have gone wrong in so many ways, but they showed a lot of respect to the source material. No major visual redesigns, just thoughtful updates. Score: 8 out of 10. Gameplay. Despite the issues I had, the core gameplay still shines. You explore caves and ruins, solve simple puzzles, engage in combat, and navigate deadly traps. The platforming and combat are frequent, with moments of pure tension as you dodge boulders, collapsing floors, and spike pits. In 20 minutes, I fought 2 tigers, 3 vultures, and countless spiders. I ran across collapsing bridges, triggered ancient traps, and tried and failed to find secrets I knew existed. It was all very familiar, and that familiarity brought a huge wave of nostalgia. The downside for me was dying and losing progress. That sucked the momentum out of my session, but what I did play was exactly what I hoped for in terms of content. Score, 9 out of 10. Final verdict. This is a tricky one. I love Tomb Raider 2. The original was such a formative game for me, and while this remaster brings a lot of that magic back, it also reminds me of the frustrations. If you can take a few minutes before you start to configure the controls and remember to save, you'll likely have a much better time than I did. As it stands, I only got 15 minutes in before I rage quit due to an unfair death and lost all my progress. That alone is enough to knock it down a bit. Still, I'd absolutely recommend this to fans of the original or players who want to explore a classic game with a fresh coat of paint. Just be ready for some old school jank. Final score, 7 out of 10. So, did you play Tomb Raider 2 back in the day? Do you remember fighting those tigers on the Great Wall, or the panic you had when you heard the distant tiger growling? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, a like and subscribe would really help the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on 20 Minute Gamer.